Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Dak Prescott, most disrespected MVP finalist in NFL history? Cowboys' 3 Wildest Trade Ideas Fish Podcast. It is, in my book, official. On the very week when Dak Prescott is named one of the 5 NFL finalists for the MVP award, he is also being brutalized by analysts, naysayers, and idiots who don't just want to trade him. In some cases, they want to dump him. Some of the Cowboys-related takes on the future of Dak: trade him, dump him, bench him, come from a place of emotion. That's understandable from a fan's standpoint. But should professional analysts be allowed the same overwrought license as the impassioned fan? There are concepts that are the result of deep thought. This Justin Fields trade is one of those. There are others, like the one from ESPN that we dig into in the Fish podcast and the Fish report below, that are cartoonishly inept. Dak should march into Jerry Jones' office and demand a trade to the Atlanta Falcons, is ESPN's take. And just to round it out? How about ESPN saying Dallas should start completely over by dumping Dak and coach Mike McCarthy and replacing the whole lot with Deion Sanders and his kids? That's a brainchild of Robert Griffin III, who wants the Cowboys to hire Coach Prime and to draft his son, Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, to replace Prescott. So, 3 wild ideas. Dig in and let's break down some more realistic concepts, shall we? Report: Cowboys already plan to restructure contracts of Zach Martin and Trayvon Diggs. The second week of the offseason is winding down for the Dallas Cowboys, and the talk about contracts is all over the place. Discussions centering around Dak Prescott and his contractual situation are the subject of the hour. To this point, there have already been multiple pieces written by people on the beat discussing how the Cowboys do not have to extend Dak Prescott this offseason. Our own Brandon Laurie discussed that idea here, in the name of creating salary cap relief. They can choose to restructure him if that strikes their fancy. Ultimately, the Cowboys are going to have to do something with Dak Prescott's deal, whether it winds up being a restructure or extension. Not to be too dramatic or anything, but whatever choice they make will significantly shape the overall offseason. But there are other places where the Cowboys will find some money as well. ESPN's Todd Archer discussed the Dak Prescott situation as well, and he astutely laid out the options that we know to be the ones staring the Cowboys in the face. Restructure or extend. Doing nothing is not a probable option. In discussing the subject though, Archer laid out some other details concerning the Cowboys' finances, and specifically said that they already plan to restructure the deals for both Zach Martin and Trayvon Diggs. The Cowboys already plan to restructure the contracts of All-Pro guard Zach Martin and cornerback Trayvon Diggs, who is coming back from a torn ACL, which could net them about $20 million in cap space. They can restructure the deal of right tackle Terrence Steele, too. They can designate wide receiver Michael Gallup a post-June 1 cut and gain $9.5 million, although they would not add that space until June. They can sign All-Pro receiver CeeDee Lamb to an extension that would actually lower his $17.99 million cap figure and make him the highest-paid receiver in the game. The cap is not a myth, but there are ways to work around the cap and push dollars into the future. We all know that a Dak decision is incredibly important, but getting this also laid out is equally valuable. At present time, over the cap has Dallas near $20 million in the red in terms of salary cap space, so any kind of flexibility is welcome. The Martin and Diggs restructures seem like they will get Dallas to ground zero, so to speak. Nothing is locked into place, but Archer is incredibly trustworthy and knowledgeable on financial situations, so these all seem like things to bet on happening, including the Steele restructure and Michael Gallup departure. These are hardly radical ideas, to be fair, but they do seem like an initial path that Dallas could take towards achieving cap space to play around with. As he also noted, the team can additionally create $18M in space if they choose to go the restructure path with Dak Prescott. What will the Cowboys use this for? Conventional wisdom says nothing super fun or shiny, but modern logic suggests that it would behoove them to go all in, forgive the dramatic expression, on the 2024 season. Perhaps they really are at least considering that right now. The map is starting to present itself right now, What specific directions the Cowboys wind up taking ultimately remain to be seen. Cowboys, projected to add turnover machine to defense. After another disappointing postseason defeat, the Dallas Cowboys' focus turns to the upcoming NFL draft. The Cowboys have myriad needs on both sides of the football. From fortifying the offensive line or perhaps getting younger and more affordable at wide receiver on offense, or bolstering the linebacking core on defense, Jerry Jones has the opportunity to significantly add to the talent on this roster via free agency and the draft. Likewise, safety is going to be a position under the microscope for the Cowboys. In CBS Sports analyst Chris Trapasso's latest 2024 NFL mock draft, Dallas comes away with one of the premier safeties in the upcoming class, Minnesota's Tyler Nubin. Nubin is a three-down safety who, Trapasso writes, given the Cowboys' pass rush capabilities, could become a turnover machine in Dallas. The Cowboys were certainly at their best defensively this season, playing with a lead which allowed defensive coordinator Dan Quinn to dial up extra pressure with Micah Parsons and Dallas' stable of pass rushers. Nubin could certainly benefit on the back end. Last season for the Golden Gophers, Nubin produced 53 total tackles, intercepted 5 passes, broke up 4 more, while adding 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble recovery. Nubin's versatility gives him the chance to wind up getting pushed up draft boards across the league, including in the Cowboys' war room. At 6'2" and 210 pounds, Nubin isn't just a ball hawk who picked off 13 passes across 4 seasons as a starter at Minnesota, but his versatility gives him the chance to be a real weapon in an NFL secondary. Nubin is an experienced safety who can play both free and strong responsibilities, Pro Football Focus writes, listing Nubin as the number 30 ranked prospect in this year's class. He's reliable in run defense, but his most impressive trait is his anticipation in coverage. There are more athletic safeties in this class, but few, if any, can see the game better than Nubin. PFF credits Nubin with an 89.2 overall grade, pointing out that he had an elite 20% forced incompletion rate, while allowing just 6 completions on 20 targets during the 2023 college football season. In coverage, Ian Cummings of Pro Football Network writes, Nubin is fluid, physical, adaptable, efficient, variable with his technique, a quick processor, and a ravenous turnover generator. In run support, Nubin is a tenacious downhill attacker with instant angle recognition skills, play strength, and tackling ability. Dak Prescott has yet to lead Dallas to the NFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl appearance, but one legendary former Cowboys quarterback isn't ready to write him off. I still believe in Dak, Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman told reporters via The Athletic's John Machota. Until you do it, there's always those criticisms. And I know Peyton Manning went through that his first 3 years, he didn't win a playoff game, and then you look back on it now and you can't imagine that anybody questioned whether or not he could win a playoff game. Dak Prescott has yet to lead Dallas to the NFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl appearance, but one legendary former Cowboys quarterback isn't ready to write him off. I still believe in Dak, Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman told reporters via The Athletic's John Machota. Until you do it, there's always those criticisms. And I know Peyton Manning went through that his first 3 years, he didn't win a playoff game, and then you look back on it now and you can't imagine that anybody questioned whether or not he could win a playoff game. Prescott is entering the final year of his contract, and how the Cowboys approach the quarterback's future could hold the key for how aggressive the organization is able to be in free agency this offseason. And you fan, what do you think of the Tyler Nubin situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.